All right. I'm actually going to do a quick little. Actually, going to do. Hi, I'm Miguel. I'm going to do a quick little assault first item assessment. Now, naturally, everything is going to be very much dependent on the comp, what you have, what your enemy teams have. But at the very least, I can go through a general list of how valuable something is as a first item in assault. And the main thing to keep in mind is for it is how useful are you still to your team when you get low? Because unlike all other modes, you cannot base. And odds are you will probably eventually get low. So it's a matter of, okay, how I'm basing this is how effective, how helpful are you to your, beneficial are you to your team when you get to low health? And simply because I'll be referring to these later in other items, we're going to start with the defenses. Let's start with physical. Well, you're getting other things than that, but yeah, if they have a lot of dots, sure, why not? Just get something else. This, no. You get this and you're low, who cares? You just die. You're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. Same with this. It's a nice item, but you're just twiddling your thumbs if you're low. Emperors. Emperors can be decent. With Emperors, you can stop, you can help your team go tower dive, and you can stop them tower diving a little bit. But beyond that, if you're low, you're worthless. So it's a lot better to go other items and then pick this up like third or fourth. Celestial Legion Helm. Worthless. It's a nice item, but if you're low health, this doesn't help you any. Lotus Crown. If you're a healer, there are much better options to do. Yes, it gives you MP5. Yes, it doesn't give you a lot of power. And yes, you're giving your allies heals, but it's generally better if you give them more often heals in the early game than just a little more tanky heals. This, maybe if you're going up against like a high CC like an Ares, you're going to be pretty much useless if you're low health with this, but at least stop Ares from pulling it. Salve is probably one of the best items in Assault because, oh hey, if you're low, okay, you get HP 5 is 25, so that's about what, 200 and times 12, that's 6 times 50, about an extra 300 health a minute. So, and let's see, Anubis level 7, or 5, his health is about 680. With Salve, I know you wouldn't want it on Anubis, but general, about 1,000, so it'll take about 3 minutes to be full heal you just from the passive of this. On top of that, you're giving your allies physical protections and HP 5, so even if you yourself are too low to really be useful or anything, you are helping your team by giving them Salve. The only reason not to have a Salve on your team is if they're like most all magical. Spectral, useless. Jade Emperors, you would think would be a nice companion to this, but if you're low, you're not really far enough ahead to apply this. It is nice, but Salve is better. However, if you have a lot of physical, yeah, you can get both. Neman, no. If you're low as a first item, you're just sitting on nothing. They won't care. Same with Midgard. Oh, you might slow them. They won't care. Valor, it does give you some MP5, but if you really, really need the cooldowns, sure, but 10 MP5 is not much. There are generally going to be better options, but if you really need the cooldowns, yeah, sure, why not? Like if you're a Guan or something. Kai the Urchin, it's a good item. It is an okay first item, but if you get low, you're mainly just twiddling your thumbs, hoping your team does well so that you can get tankier for late game. I've never picked Urchin first item. Spirit Robes, nah, you're not useful. Mantle of Discord, again, same thing. These are, it's like, oh, if you're low health, you're just, yeah, you have cooldowns, but you're still just twiddling your thumb. Mystic Mail, you need to be up in their face, so this really isn't useful. Magical Protections. And I'll get to the Physical Gods one first, but it's like, aren't too much. Stone of Binding. You would think be useful, but again, you have to apply this. So unless you have really good long range, this isn't worth it. Onis. Not really useful as a first item. Heartward. Heartward is arguably the second best item. Because, again, it's, oh hey, unless they're all physical, you're giving your team magical protections and MP5. And MP5 is really important for all the ability casters early game and assault. So this is a really strong item early game. And if you're low, you can just sort of chill back in the back and let them have that and just be low. Pestilence, if they have a lot of healing, Pestilence can be good. This makes you really tanky. You're not as useful once you get low, but it can be useful. Voidstone, as good as a 9 this is, if you're not up in the front of it, you're not getting any of the effect of this, so it's not worth it. Genjis. If you just want self-tanky, this is pretty good. This is like a ton of MP5. A ton of MP5. I've known people who's taken like against heavily magical comps. They'll take a hunter. They'll take like a hunter and then get this. That way they can just keep spamming their abilities. This makes you really tanky, ton of MP5 and cooldown. So, but if you're low, you need to be ranged. You're mainly relying on the cooldowns if you're low. But cooldowns and MP5, sure. Shoguns, you're helping your team. Not as good as Heartward, but oh hey, you're giving everyone more attack speed, so you're helping your team with that, even if you aren't actually able to be in the front line. And those three. Oh, Stone of Fel. Not a good first item. Most gods can't do more than 30% of your max health level 5 in a single hit. And if you're low, you're not really getting much out of it. Bulwark, again, you're not really getting much out of this if you're low. Okay. Finally, let's go to the health items. Ones that are not protections. Okay, this tree can be useful, but you have to be up front in their faces, so not as useful as the first item. Ring Blade helps you get away, but again, if you're low, you're pretty much useless. Relic Dagger, it's okay, but again, this is not a first item. Also not a first item. Okay. This tree. Shield of Regrowth. Can be okay if you're getting Shield Regrowth, you have a self heal. This will give you HP 5, MP 5, which will nice. There are better options, but yeah, this one's not bad. Plus, it'll help you move around. Not an ideal first item, but it's okay. We have Renewal. If you are low, you're basically just hoping your team gets a kill so that you can be less useless. But if you're doing it for that, you might as well get Urchin. Fountain of Thebes, sort of like Heartward Salve. You're giving your allies more protections, which is useful, but you're not giving them HP 5, MP 5, which is more important assault, so it's not as useful. Gaia. If you get Gaia, oh hey, I'm low, you're relying on the plus 300 health a second, plus, like if Nubis gets, yes, 1200, so it's 300 a second, plus 24% of your max health every, well, yeah, 24%. So about quarter, so about 600 health a minute. You get this. The whole point of getting this is like, okay, I go in, I get low, I sit back, twiddle my thumbs for like 2-3 waves, and then I'm good to go again. So this is actually a really strong item if you don't need it in the other ones. Because it's like, oh, hey, you want to engage, and you want to keep engaging even if you get knocked low. Because if you get low, you just twiddle your thumbs, minute, and then you're good. Okay, back to health. Which blade we went through. Can't get that one. Gem, if you're Poseidon, sure. This helps his damage a lot. If he's low, E-Staff, no. If you're low, you're not really getting anything out of this anyway. Asclepius, your heals are better, but you're better off getting cooldowns most of the time. Okay. And now for the physical gods, well, I guess the physical gods, it's mainly like serve. Same reason with Void Shield. You want that with like Void Stone. It's the same reason. It's like, no, you have to be up in their face, so it's not worth it. Shifter Shield. Actually, let's go grab a physical. This one, if you have like a lot of really good poke, sure. Like Chop might be able to. It doesn't have any MP5, so you might struggle with that, but Shifter Shield, it's no, you're useless if you're low. This one, you're pretty much useless if you're low. It doesn't give you enough protections. This one you need to be hit, and if you're low, you don't want to be being hit. This one, maybe, but again, you're a little bit too close up to there for it to be useful. I need health ones that I haven't already mentioned. Oh, this tree. You need to be up in their face. If you're low, you don't want to be in their face. So, not a first item. Not a first item. This is... I've never seen people get this one. Ever. So, no. Anything else? No. Okay, so let's start going on power items. And I'll get to physical. Go back to it. Power items. And again, it's the standard go-to. You don't want... Mostly you don't want boots. So we'll skip that. Do more, but you can't get. Tahuti you can't afford because you have 3,300. And you would say, okay, Chronos Pendant. 80 power, 25 MP5, 20% cooldown, and this. This is a sort of the standard mage start. However, I want to show you something else. No. Let's go with these three. Total cost $28.50, so 100 more than Chronos Pendant. You get the same amount of cooldowns because you get 20%, 10% from this, 10% from this, 18% movement speed over Chronos. I think you get like what, minus 20 power? Nope, same amount of power. So this is 80 power, this is 80 power, this is 20% cooldowns, this is 20% cooldowns. This is 25 MP5. This is 5 up to 25 plus this specific item 5. So it's 10. So you're getting a little bit more MP5 for this. This is 10 up to 30 versus 25. But same amount of power. This gives you 150 more mana, 250 more mana, and 18% movement speed. And then you're on your way to getting max cooldowns pretty shortly afterwards. So this is actually something to consider as an alternative to this. But it's, if you're not getting Shoes of Focus, then obviously Kronos is much better. Anyway. Power. Pentry. If you really need Divine Ruin, if they have a lot of healers, this could be really good, useful pickup if you have a good, safe way to apply it. If you're low, you're just mainly okay trying to poke them long range from that and then hoping that. But if they have a healer, then you have a healer. Fear of the Magus can be useful if you have a lot of magical on your team to apply that from distance and then run away. Fear of Desolation, no. Cooldowns is not going to help you if you're low. This thing gives you nothing else to help you be beneficial if you're low. Same with the Obsidian Shard. It's, yeah, you will do more damage, but you're low. You don't really want to be doing damage. This ring, Telkines. Nah, not really. If you're low, you don't want to be boxing. Or Demonic, you don't want to be boxing. Telkines, you don't want to be boxing. Shaman, maybe if you want to get this up quickly, but I don't. Beyond that, he said no, you don't want to be boxing if you're low. Bancroft, the whole point of lifesteal is, oh hey, I'm low, let's feed off of minions to not get low, and then I'm good to go. Bancroft is one of the best items to do that. Book of the Dead is not. Because there's so few creeps. If you're low, you're going to almost never get this passive up much at all in Assault. Poly, there's better lifesteals. This one, Pythag. Not only are you trying to heal yourself back up, but you're giving your entire team more power and lifesteal. So if you're going for a lifesteal, this and this. And more importantly, this depends on, do you have a safe way to get the lifesteal? Like, do you have long range poke, which is mainly just, are you Zhang, are you Hades, or are you Ao Kuang? Don't start with Bancroft. Start with Pythax. Because they have to get up close and personal to try and heal themselves. So if they're low, they're pretty much useless, because if they try and go in to heal themselves, they'll just get blown up. Whereas this one, even if they aren't able to heal themselves up as much, they're still helping their team, and that is still being a lot more benefit to their team than this. Can't get that one. Soul Reaver, no. No, just not the first item. Oh wait, now over to the physical guts. And you'll see a trend for what I'm talking about. Power. No reason for a physical god to ever start with boots. Magical, you did have a reason. For that one thing where I said, okay, you get 18% movement speed and 250 mana for a little bit less MP5, but it's fine. This tree, no. None of these give you any power. This one, Oboe, only if your team has no clear. This is a clear item. If your team has clear, this is basically a useless item as a first item thing. This tree, you are useless because you need to be up front in their faces attacking them as a melee. This will help you a bit, but generally you don't want to be up in their faces if you're low, so not as a first item. You're not going to get your basic attacks, and you don't want to be up in their face when you're doing that, so no. Hell no, you don't. If you're low, this will not help you. So nothing from this tree is a first item. You can't get this. If you're a hunter, yeah, sure. You use your basic attacks to try and heal back up. If you're not a hunter, no, don't get this. Soul Eater, maybe. Gives you cooldown reductions. If you're low, it's not going to really help you, but if you have at least in long range poke, this will help you get your stacks off early. But I still don't really like this item. I think it's still super awkward. So maybe some gods can, but no. This peat tree. if they're very tanky, but still probably no. This really isn't a good first item anymore, especially after they raise the price. Crusher, no. It's not a good first item. Brawlers, if they have a lot of healing, then yeah, sure, but you're going to be useless if you get low. This item. Are you one of these gods? Neith, Cupid, Hercules, Chak, Thanatos, Camelot, Neja, and Thor. If you're one of those gods, sure. Hercules and Chak are probably better off with other options. They might actually even be better off with Valor, since that gives them P5. And they don't need the power or the pen as much. Thanatos and Camelot both have a very it's mainly for Herc and Chak. They have a self-heal. Cooldowns let them heal more often. Neith has a self-heal. Cooldowns let her heal more often. Cupid has a group 3-person heal. Cooldowns lets him use that more often, so that's good. Thanatos has a self-heal. This lets him use it more often. Camelot has a good, safe self-heal that lets him use more often. Neja has his ring toss, and then his 2, so he can use those more often. Thor has his double tap, which is a safe poke damage, so that's more often. If you aren't any of those gods, don't ever build this item as your first item. Because if you get low, the power isn't going to help you, the mana isn't going to help you, the pen and cooldowns is not going to help you. You're just going to sit there, twiddle your thumbs until you get meted back up to full, being completely useless. So no assassins other than, like I said, Thanatos, Camelot, and Thor and Neja. Those are the only 4 assassins that should ever be starting Jotunn's Wrath. Yes, Arachne and Baka have a self-heal, but they have to be up at the minions to do it. Which means sort of like Zhang Kui, you're just going to get destroyed if you're low and you're trying to go get minions. Those are the only 4 assassins that can build Jotunns. Everyone else of these assassins should actually start tanky. They should be starting like treat him like a warrior. Anyway, moving on. Actually, that's pretty much all they're on. Oh, crit. Oh, this tree. Assy, if you're a hunter, sure. Executioner, if you're a hunter, sure. Chins, this is a good, though you're probably better off getting other items first. Chins, this is a damage item. If you're low, you're just trying to poke their front line if they get close. And this is really good at doing that. In the same line, you could say same for Rage. Or Poison Star. Because these are good for hunters because they can do good long range poke from their basic attacks, and they're just going to start trying to apply the damage. Don't do Deathbringer first item, that's a waste of money. Not as inefficient. But yeah, it's by class. Hunters have their range basic attacks. They can poke at good long range. A lot of them have, some of them have self-heals. AMC has his hives. Neith has her 2. Cupid has a area heal. Chiron has a sort of area heal. Kernanos. So these guys are still useful if they build hunter, just damage, by simply being hunters. Mages. Most of the mages have good long range poke. Chang'e does not. Chang'e doesn't want to go damage. Hades does not. Hades should not be building damage first item. Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang does not. He does not. Should not be building damage first item. Zhang Kui Pretty much should not. Yes, he can do some range damage, but he wants to get his 2 off. He wants his 1-2 combo, and you can't do that in Assault easily. They won't let you do that. So some of these can go damage. Hades, Chang'e. Well, Chang'e could go cooldowns because of healer. But Ao Kuang, Zhang Kui, and Hades are probably better off getting some form of healing, be sort of a backup tank, at least at the front. Guardians are obviously you're going to want to be your tank, your front line. Or if you want to be front line. If you are not one of the not Thana, Thor, Neja, Camelot's, then you should be a front line as an assassin in Assault. Or at least start, your first item should be tanky. My qualification is 43 and 10. And look at that. I built tanky. I still went 5 and 2. Still had the top damage. This one, I went tanky. 3-4, so I died a bit more, but still, my damage was pretty high. On par with everyone on them. You go tanky so you don't, if you get low, you just sit back and you help your team until you're able to do more. Anyway, I'm going to go do normal game. So thank everyone for watching. And hopefully this makes my players better at their first time in Assault. Leave me a comment if you have a thing. We'll talk about it. Okay, now for normal modes.